What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 9 Specialists. And this week, we are here to talk about Rashee Rice, NFL Rookie of the Year predictions. We're going to update on the playoffs in the NHL and the NBA again, as well as an MLB update. The Phillies are still awesome, by the way. And we're going to talk about some of the best player fits in the NFL offseason so far. So without further ado, we're your hosts, Fish, Tom. What's going on, Tom? What's happening?
Not much. I'm not caffeinated yet.
Oh, geez.
So I'm gonna imagine you opened up a video of a dude running and put it up 0.25 speed. That's gonna be me. I'm just gonna be slow. We're gonna get there, but no.
So it's like Peyton Manning running.
Yes, it's not slow motion, but it is. No one actually changed it, but that is just how slow he is.
Exactly. Did you watch the roast of Tom Brady, by the way?
I've seen clips and bits and stuff from it. What I did see was funny, though, to be fair.
It was pretty good. So we kind of split it up because that fucking thing is longer than the Titanic. That why they had to make it 3 to 4 hours. I was like, all right, guys, we can cut half this off. But we did end up watching half of it one day, and then we saw the second half last night. And it was pretty good. I mean, Tom Brady's part himself when he came in at the end, I honestly thought maybe one of his jokes was funny. Maybe it's my bias that I still hate Tom Brady, but it just was a lot of hey, I'm the greatest. I have a lot of rings. I look good.
Yeah.
So I was just these aren't hitting as well as the rest of the jokes. But Nikki Glazer's set was hilarious.
Yeah.
I really liked they brought in Ron Burgundy. He
of course
actually
they
did the whole Ron Burgundy look and everything. I also liked, I think a low-key one was Drew Bledsoe. I was just surprised Drew Bledsoe was even there. But his jokes were pretty funny. And he was just drinking wine the whole time. Apparently he owns a winery, so he was just drinking his own wine the whole time.
Hell yeah.
And he definitely
good. I mean, the wine was effective. He will get more sales now. This is good.
Definitely.
that was a good business.
Just a great host too.
Oh yeah, well, it's they started with that. That's always a good place to start. But there've just been better roasts.
Yeah, for sure.
The roast of Rob Lowe stands out to me.
Oh, that was a good one.
As one of the best, because they just all the comedians they had there were all the ruthless ones.
Right.
Jimmy Carr was there, I think, and Pete Davidson, and Pete's jokes were fucked in that one. But
I wasn't prepared for how many Aaron Hernandez jokes there were going to be. Almost every person had an Aaron Hernandez joke.
I think my body was ready. There were so many Patriots there. That was the thing. It wasn't even just once that happened, once there were that many Pats players, owners, coaches, whoever there, it's just all right. Aaron is about to get roasted right now.
Dude, Julian Edelman was the worst.
Oh yeah. Dude, well, Edelman had some torches for people. I was like,
oh yeah. His Aaron Hernandez joke, I was just holy shit.
Yeah, Aaron Hernandez's wife is upset with it. It's okay, and the world's upset that your dude's a murderer. So how about maybe pick a better guy, you dumb fuck.
Right.
I'm not gonna hold back. I have zero filter in the morning.
I get it.
And I'm just gonna roll with that because I just don't understand.
No, I'm right there with you. If I'm not at work in the morning, then my filter is completely off. If I'm at work, then I just don't talk because it's better off if I don't say
exactly. That is literally me, and that's not great when you're a waiter. Because you kind of have to
That's a good point.
you kind of got to talk to people, but it is what it is. I have MLB open. Let's just run through that real fast because I think that's the quickest, if that's
Yeah,
cool with you.
let's do it.
Since the little tag thing is, Phillies are still awesome. Schwarber left last night's game to get pinch hit for in the ninth, and I just have a quote from him, so all us Phillies fans we can relax. It says, "I just wanted to get out of there. I'll probably take tomorrow off just to make sure we're good to go. I think hopefully I'll wake up tomorrow feeling better, and we'll keep going." It's like that sounds like Schwarber to me. I can hear it in his really just dry voice, and I'm chilling with that.
He's essentially just like, guys, just don't worry about it.
he's like, I will be hitting leadoff dingers in 3 games. Relax.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm still shook that the Phillies right now are 27-12
Insane.
with a plus 58 run diff and 2 guys in the top 5 in Cy Young odds, and neither one of them is Aaron Nola. One of them is Wheeler.
Scarier.
One is Ranger Suarez, who's 8-0.
Ranger Suarez has been ridiculous.
He went 7 again and gave up 3 hits.
And had like 9 strikeouts, right?
Yeah, which I saw the 9 Ks and I'm like, okay, that's if his K count starts going up every game, this dude's winning the Cy. And then he had like another ridiculous Gold Glove level play where it just he just flashes the leather, stands there for a second to admire his handiwork, and then just casually throws it to first. And it's just like, he cannot keep getting away with this, but he's going to, because I love this guy. I'm just so stoked. The Dodgers are now officially as scary as everyone thought that they were going to be. They have reached that status. Shohei Ohtani is actually not from this planet. I think he still currently leads like 8 statistical categories for hitters right now.
Let's see if I can get the leaders up here while you're saying that.
Like, it's actually a problem. Yeah, I'm looking at your screen because yep. So
yeah, he's up there.
Hard hit. Yeah, I mean hard hit percentage I think is highest.
Yep.
Which is hilarious.
Him and Juan Soto are 0.1% apart from each other.
This guy is just he's absolutely insane.
MLB.com has this new stat here that says, for a batter, EV50 is an average of the hardest 50% of his batted balls.
He's hitting 359.
Good Lord.
He has a 1106 OPS. That is not acceptable.
The stat that I just said, the EV50, he's second only to Stanton. And so it's an average of the hardest 50% of his batted balls. And that would be 107 miles an hour.
Yeah. This dude, all he does is hit smoke. So, I mean, like, let's just run through this, right? So the only other hitter, purely based off what I'm looking at right here, that's in like the same stratosphere as far as like production, extra base hits, actually it's 2. It's Alec Boehm and Marcell Ozuna. Marcell Ozuna for the Braves has 12 home runs. He's almost at 40 RBIs already, and we're literally not halfway through May. But just for perspective, so Shohei has 20 walks, 34 strikeouts, 9 steals. He's hitting 359, has a 427 on-base percentage, which he does need to get up a little bit because there's guys with a lot higher than that.
Right.
15 doubles, 11 home runs, 27 RBIs. He has a triple because, of course, he does. He has not been human, and it's great that he's still like, yeah, actually, yeah, look at that. He's at the top on like 5 of those.
I know. Well, he's out of these 7 batting leaderboards that show the top 5 for those not watching on YouTube. He is in 6 of those 7.
Yep.
And he's number 1 in 5 of them.
He's special.
That man is insane.
He's just special. But we'll do a quick division rundown. So in the West, as we said, the Dodgers, they have officially caught fire as we knew they would. They are 26-14, first place. Padres in second, and they will stay in second for the rest of the year probably. In the Central, the Brewers and the Cubbies are battling for the top spot, only a half game between them. That's more if the Cubs can figure out how to win on the road, then they will definitely take that over. Phillies have a 2-game lead on the Braves right now. I don't know who the Braves are currently in a series with, but the Phillies definitely have a... Okay. The Phillies definitely have an easy one at the moment.
Yeah, the Mets have the chance to at least gain some ground there, down at 4th place.
But they're still hot ass. Going over
Thanks
to the
for Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, literally. Like, what are you doing? So we're going to go over the AL now. AL East, the Orioles are in the top spot, which I love to see. Yankees half game back, and then after that, the gap is widening as it is clear the talent levels possessed by the Yankees and Orioles just far surpass everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
The Central's fun. The Central's fun again, dude. We got 3 teams within a half game. I love this.
The Tigers really, like, at 500, realistically could climb a little bit.
But the thing that
I don't think they're going to pass them, but...
No, they will not. The thing that pisses me off is look at the run differentials, right? The Royals have a plus 53.
Oh, yeah.
Like easily the best in that division, and it's only going to keep getting better. So they're the team I think is going to eventually, like, as the year plays out, they're going to pull away.
Oh, for sure. I can see
and that. The AL West is an absolute just dumpster fire right now. I don't know what the hell's going on. One of these teams needs to just like step up and take it, because it's like what, like the Athletics on paper have the worst roster in baseball. It's them or the White Sox.
Right.
Like they have a really good closer, but he will get traded. Like that's how this is going to go. So it like how are they third? How are the Astros fourth? This is just, I love it.
Especially now the Angels without Trout, they're going to just continue to fall. Like
oh, yeah. Yeah, they're in free fall. But I'm looking at the Astros like, please stay there. We're fucking sick of you. No one likes you unless you're from Houston. Go away. So I hope that one stays the same. The Rangers, I think, the Rangers take that division. I think the Mariners will be second, probably get a wild card if one of them can actually get hot enough, but we'll see.
The Angels' home and away records are just funny to me. The fact that they're 4-13 at home, but 10-12 away.
That franchise doesn't know how to do anything right, especially not winning for their own fans.
To be fair, if you're living in LA and you didn't grow up an Angels fan or you didn't grow up a Dodgers fan and you had to pick one, definitely not picking the Angels.
No.
That's for damn sure.
No. Because even when you think back, it's like pre-Trout, like they had a couple guys I guess you could cheer for. I mean, it was like Vlad Guerrero Sr.,
right?
Torrey Hunter when he was there, but like they didn't have you know what I mean? Like the Dodgers have always had guys that even if you were just like a casual, you'd be a fan of them before you were a fan of anybody on the Angels. I mean, it makes sense, but
since I have it up here, I'm gonna jump real quick here to the NBA playoffs because we can hit on that pretty quickly.
Dude.
So I'm gonna bring up the bracket here for those watching on YouTube. But the
You can't see
playoffs
on
have
my
been
screen, but it's here too.
there you go. The playoffs, the NBA playoffs have been pretty entertaining. The second round at least got a little bit better, especially with the fact that, the Nuggets took a game. To be honest, I really was thinking that could have been a clean sweep by Minnesota there, especially when they go and take the first two games in Denver. And
Yeah.
not only take those first two games, but whoop that ass so bad that Jamal Murray had to throw a towel and a heat pack at the ref. That
He's just mad he shot like 3 for 19, but
exactly, that just shows you how bad of an ass whooping that is.
Yeah.
And to be honest, to only get a fine for that is crazy to me.
I'm blown away at that because no, you know what? Just to stick on that for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Seeing that and seeing that he only got a fine makes me mad that the Sixers didn't do more fucking wild shit. Like, it actually I know self-control is the thing, and obviously there's like rules in this shit. I am still shocked that we have not seen a ref just get absolutely throttled in
I agree.
in the last like 5 years. I genuinely shocked. And I don't know who it would be. Like, I don't know who the scapegoat would be for the Sixers that could have done it, but it's like the same especially with the Knicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
The kicked ball that just took the game from the Pacers.
Hand?
Yeah, I'm like, there's 3 of you fucking refs. One of you can't speak up and be like, nah, actually, that's the wrong appendage. It was off his hand, which is what it should have been in the first place. Like, are we kidding with this shit? It's the fucking playoffs.
And why is that not reviewable? Of all things, why is that not reviewable? Because that's the easiest thing to review.
There's a minute left where that happened, and like the amount of fouls in the game, whatever, allowed the Knicks to gain possession at an advantageous like spot on the court.
Right.
Late in the game, tight score. That shit doesn't happen. Pacers stay up. Yep. And it's completely different. Instead now, like, they have to
scrambling.
They have to win both in Indiana now. They have to.
Yeah.
It's the same exact shit for the Sixers had to deal with because the Knicks were gifted this crap. And then all the talk about, Embiid's doing this, whatever in the first round. If I see Jalen Brunson headbutt a motherfucker one more time, I swear to God.
Yeah,
the way he's driving is literally like he is just going headfirst into people, like head to chest, and then selling this shit like you just stole all of his like all his possessions, and he needs to lay down and have a cry. And then DiVincenzo, I swear that dude must weigh like 2 ounces the way he falls.
Well, there's the call about the moving screen where Miles Turner didn't even like touch him. And he just like throws his head back and it's moving screen, other Knicks ball. And it's like, are you guys watching the same game that we're watching? Like,
no, the sport of basketball is not the sport that we grew up loving anymore. That's the truth.
It's all about how you can manipulate the refs into your favor. That's what basketball has become, really.
It is a free throw shooting contest where on occasion some teams might actually make some baskets. Like,
exactly.
That's where we're at. And it's a shame because there are series, like the one series I think overall in the second round that has not been fucked by this is the T-Wolves Nuggets. Like,
right.
Because even though Murray threw shit at refs, it's like, you shot 3 for 19. Like, you sucked tonight. Take that on the chin, sunshine. Like, it kills me. Like, I want to watch basketball. Exactly. I don't want to watch this drama.
And my favorite thing with the Nuggets T-Wolves, they showed a clip of like when they were double teaming Murray like from full court, and Murray was the one like trying to like fend them off and like throwing his head back, and they didn't call anything. And people are like, "Oh, they're allowed to hack," and I'm like, "No, idiots! Watch the game. They didn't touch him at all. They just have that man in hell right now, and he's frustrated, so he's trying to throw contact first and use it to get a foul called for him, but they're not calling it, which is the right call. So stop calling that shit.
This is what basketball used to be.
Exactly. And the thing that bothers me the most is that the beginning of this year, they said, hey, we're going to stop calling that one foul call where the guard will dribble and then just stop and then get hit. That used to be a defensive foul, but they were like, oh, we're going to make that an offensive foul. Then we're going to stop doing the one that Trae Young was known for when he gets around the screen and he just like throws the ball up acting like he got pulled around the screen. They were going to stop that too. And the pull through was another one that they were going to stop. And they stopped calling it for about 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden they go back to calling it the same. And here we are in the playoffs seeing those same exact calls get rewarded. And it's like, what happened? Why did you go back on that? Because everyone was cheering for the fact that you stopped calling it. And now all of a sudden it's a foul again. And you have Adam Silver saying, oh, next year we're looking at, giving the defense a little bit more of a fair game. And it's like, what? That should have been the case years ago.
No, but here's the truth though. It's like, if that's the case, you literally need to fire every fucking ref you have and hire new ones that are trained based off these new ideas.
Right.
Because you can't have Scott Foster's fucking trash ass out there trying to do new shit now. Because he'll do it for 2 possessions and then he'll be like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
Like that's where we're at now. It's not a matter of, oh, we're gonna change all these rules. It's like the refs are not implementing the changes that you want to make.
Exactly.
At all. And it is so obvious, and like especially in the East, I think the West has been a lot better. Like as far and I don't know why that is. Yeah, like there's obviously going to be a game or two here or there. It's like whatever, but the East, it feels like every fucking game I turn on.
Oh yeah,
every single one. It's just you're going to see some shit. You're like, I guess we're in FIFA watching like Brazil versus Italy. Like this is literally just an absolute sales fest.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the thing that made me like double check that I wasn't reading an article from The Onion was when I saw something today that said Knicks players and coaches are upset with the way that the calls go, like for Jalen Brunson. Like they think he deserves more calls. I was like,
are you delusional?
I was like, the only person that has shot more free throws than Jalen Brunson in this playoffs is Joel Embiid. And I don't think it's the case anymore, obviously, because he's played 3 more games than Joel Embiid. But and I just want to preface this by saying, yes, I'm a Sixers fan. No, I don't agree with all the calls that Joel Embiid gets. Am I going to still like be happy that he scored and then you win a game? Sure, but I'm not going to sit here and say he deserved 20 free throws in one game. But
exactly.
To complain that Jalen Brunson isn't getting calls is outrageous to me.
Especially when all these calls late in these games that is completely swaying the outcome.
Exactly.
Or when he has the fucking ball. Every single time. Like it's mind-blowing to me. Like I know the Knicks have been abysmal for a really long time and they haven't had a shot to do anything. This is not the way.
Exactly.
I don't care. This is not like they're a good team. I will give them the credit they deserve because a couple of their guys are just playing out of their app. Like Josh Hart, no issues with Hart at all.
Nope, I agree.
None at all. He's just been playing hard, both ends of the floor. Dude is living on the court. I mean, he's a minutes machine. And like that's the kind of guy I will absolutely be behind. But Brunson just going for fouls, DiVincenzo fucking flopping like a goddamn fish. And to preface this, if Embiid flops like a fish, I will call his bitch ass out. I don't care. This is not some pick favorites. It's just a corny thing that should not be happening in a game that used to be totally accepting of a level of physicality.
Agreed.
That's just gone. You can't play defense properly, and you can't. It's not possible. Because even when you get all ball, they're going to call a foul, and you have to waste a review. And the amount of time, like it's insane. So
exactly,
like I'll make 2 predictions. You make 2 predictions. Are we cool with that?
Yeah.
I'm saying T-Wolves in 6.
Okay.
And I'll say Celtics in 7. I think the Cavs are going to give them some work. I do.
I'm glad the Cavs at least showed up. in game 2 because it looked like it was going to be an easy sweep, and I was going to be like, really again.
Game
But
2 is why I think it could go 7, because their game plan was solid. They put the right guys on the right guys.
yeah,
They
Mitchell
didn't have
showed up.
anybody. Yeah, and it was like, but they didn't have anybody like. I mean, Mitchell's gonna get the lion's share of possessions and shots. We know that. So
sure.
him doing that is not gonna like freak me out, as long as he can stay like locked in.
Right.
But they're gonna need guys to step up big, because obviously the Celtics have been like the team everyone's looking at this year. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll just give real quick predictions for the remaining series. I have the Mavericks in 7. I have the Timberwolves in 6. I have the Celtics in 6 and the Knicks in 7.
Okay. Like I know who I want. Like I want the Pacers. I want the Cavs. I want the Thunder, just because I love this. I love how young of a team that they are.
They're a fun team to watch.
To earn a 1 seed, and they play with so much energy and like passion and everything. Yeah. Like you can tell if they don't break through this year, it's coming, because they still have like 10 first-round picks or some shit stashed. It's like it's insane. It's insanity. But
my main reason I like the Mavericks is because of Derek Lively. I mean, he's a local guy, went to West Town, so that's my only like tie really for Dallas. But
and when we say local, we mean literally like West Town from where I was legit 2 minutes. Yeah. Like I lived in Goshen Valley, which bordered West Town Road. And before that, I lived on West Town Way, which is even closer. Like it is, yeah.
And when I first started taking photos for basketball and sports, it was at West Town with guys like, and Lively was the backup center for his freshman year. So they have crazy talent there. Also where Mo Bamba went.
Which is just, it's like nuts to think about that shit though.
Yeah. And Reddish
completely nuts. Like that's insane. And I know Reddish, like, ups and downs, whatever. It's like he made the NBA. Yeah. I mean, the percentage of player. I mean, the draft has 60 picks, and then obviously there's undrafted. But like, to make it and play, and he was a first round pick too. It's like,
and he was starting at one point this year for the Lakers.
And he earned it.
Yeah,
because he was outperforming. Because when he got the starter role, that team was still so confused about what was going on. But I think he's a guy that, like, if you get him on the right squad, could compete for 6th man of the year if you give him the right. You know what I mean? Like he's not a bad player. But it was just like first round pick hype. Yeah. Always just like overshadows, which is a shame.
No, I agree. But yeah, so with that being said, let's just get into the last playoff update we have here, the NHL playoffs. I wanted to especially ask you because it looks like, I mean, the Rangers Hurricane series, I did not expect the Rangers to be up 3-0 at all.
So all 3 games have been 1-goal games,
which is insane.
So yeah, Rangers first game 4-3, Rangers 4-3 in the second game in double overtime, and then 3-2 in the game on Thursday in OT. Okay, so there's, I think 16 teams in NHL history have started a playoff run 7-0. 11 of them have won the cup. So it's slightly above 50%. It's like 65%.
Okay.
Ish. I do not think I still do not think the Rangers. I don't know. I don't want to like jump on this too much. Like they look insane. I give them all the credit in the world. They look nuts. But like Shesterkin has to stay hot, their goalie, and he's been absolutely nuts. Like in the last 2 games, he has 99 saves in 2 games. 99. Just for like perspective, in the Vancouver series, which is tied now, unfortunately, Um,
Mhm.
the goalie for Edmonton probably has like 35 or 40 saves. Like that Shesterkin for the like he is playing like he's possessed by some other worldly like powers. Um, there are still like I think that's the Stars would match up well with the Rangers. I think the Avalanche would match up decently with the Rangers.
Mhm.
Um, I think Vancouver could too, but I look at the Vancouver Edmonton series as kind of like a I don't know if either one of those teams has what it takes to not only make the final but win the final if they're going to then face the Panthers or the Rangers. Because I think Boston's fucked now. Like, they got smoked 2 games straight. Brad Marchand's hurt. That's their captain. Like, he's probably their best player currently. Like, they're kind of chalked. That's a
Okay.
wrap. So, it's going to be Panthers Rangers to make the final, which is going to be a nuts. That should be a nuts series. Even this series, like it's 3-0, but the games have been good. You know what I mean? It's not like
Right.
they're all 1 goal differentials. Like they've been tightly contested, and the Rangers have just found a way.
One
Um,
was OT and one was double OT, right?
yeah. So I mean, literally, like they're just it's insane. One of those games goes a different way. This series looks very very different right now. Um, and like it could still go 6.
Hmm.
But I mean, the whole 3-0 to winning the series things only happened 4 times in hockey history, so we can probably
Dang.
not expect that here. Yeah,
Right.
it was the Kings in 2014 over the Sharks, the Flyers in 2010 over the Bruins, the Maple Leafs in 1975 over the Canadiens, and then the one before that was in like the 30s. Like they're literally so spread out. Like the fact that we had 2 within 4 years was insane. Um,
Right. At least Philly is in there for something positive.
yeah, and it was over Boston too, which just felt
Right.
fucking
That's even
phenomenal.
better.
Well, it was we were down 3-0 in the series, and then we were down 3-0 in Game 7 in Boston, and came back to
I
win that
forgot
game
about that.
4-3. Yeah, I won $100 from John DiMattia
Oh,
because
really?
of
Because you bet on
yep
this the Flyers winning the game 7 or winning the series?
the series. We were down 3-0, and he was talking shit, and I was like, I'll bet you $100 Flyers will win the series, and he actually paid up, and I could not believe that.
Damn.
But
That's
I had
impressive.
like infinite respect for him after that. I was like, most
Yeah.
people would have been like, but yeah, that was wild. But that's not happening this year. Just to finish that point, not happening. The Rangers are a very complete team. They were the 1 seed or like
Mhm.
in their division for a reason. They were the President's Trophy winners for a reason. Like they are scary. If you're a West team and you make the final, it's like it's honestly like a concession kind of congratulations, but now you have
Mhm.
to deal with this. And they're not unbeatable, but they look fucking insane right now. Because to see what Carolina did to the Islanders in the first round,
Right.
like the Islanders were a lot better than the Capitals were. So I look at a 4-1 over a better team in a different way than I look at a sweep
Of
over
a
the
terrible
like
team.
exactly. So I'm like, I have to assume going into the series that the Hurricanes actually have a pretty good chance. And these games had, like I said, like they're putting an insane amount of shots on goal, which is
Right.
what you have to do. And it's just this when a goalie is just in a zone, it doesn't even matter. Um, I'll say Rangers are going to the final, and based off what I've seen in the 2 series so far, I'll say Dallas is probably going to go from the West because even though that series is tied,
Mhm.
they've had big leads in both games. Like they're up 3-0 in game 1 and just kind of got lazy. And
Okay.
if you don't get lazy against Colorado because their speed will kill you, and it did. Game 2, they didn't get lazy and they made it look pretty straightforward. So I think yeah, Dallas, New York, I think is the most logical.
I feel like
Because
that would
truth
be a
be
very entertaining final too.
yeah, it'd be great. And truth be told, like I think Vancouver can beat Edmonton. I don't think they could beat either Colorado or Dallas in a 7-game series.
I got you. Okay.
Um, and I know Edmonton can't. I know they can't. They don't. They do not have. They have the best depth they've had since they've had McDavid. But even when I say that, it's like the top line is Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman, who are their leading in everything categories like guys. And after that, like in this series in particular, like just I can literally look at the stats from last night's game. Because goals wise, I'm pretty sure it was like, yeah, Draisaitl got the first from McDavid. Matthias Ekholm, who's a defenseman, so it doesn't really like count the same way. Assisted from McDavid and Draisaitl. Third goal scored by Connor McDavid from Hyman and Draisaitl. Fourth goal, Evan Bouchard, another defenseman from McDavid and Draisaitl. Like literally, if they're not involved, they don't fucking score. It's kind of how this goes.
Which is pretty insane.
Like, however, we are now looking at Leon Draisaitl has 10 assists in 7 games total, and McDavid has 15.
Jesus.
So they're producing.
Right.
But McDavid only has 2 goals in these playoffs, which is nuts. But Draisaitl has 6, and I think Hyman's got like 7. But it's literally a matter of if you can contain them, you're going to win the hockey game. And
Right.
you're not winning the Stanley Cup final with one line giving you everything. That's never going to happen ever. So
It's essentially like Embiid and Maxey being on the floor, and the moment they're not, everything goes.
No, it is literally like that though. Like that's the easiest analogy for us they are the best line in hockey, and it's not close. Like, just to be clear, like if they're on the ice, like it's a whole different. Like, for me, like watching that game last night, as soon as they touch the ice, it's just like your asshole is tightly clenched for the next minute and a half that they're out there. Like, it just, and they get more, like a lot of top lines get like 20 minutes a game because they try to stay as fresh as possible. They get like 25 because they're just
because you have to at that point.
but they put in the work. Like, they want to.
Right.
Like, they don't care if they're just exhausted beyond all like recognition at the end of the game. They've lost enough in a row now that they want to win. I just think depth wise, the Rangers would have a field day with them in the final.
Oh yeah. Before we move off of the hockey topic, I wanted to bring this up because I thought this was both funny and fun. But they have released a survey to pick the Utah hockey team's newest name.
My god!
So we can vote right here on stream. So
right.
for those not watching, it's a pretty long list of names, but some of these I really like. There's one I like the most, and I'm going to get to that in a sec. But there is the Black Diamonds, the Squall, the Mountaineers, the Powder, which Powder can go way too many ways that they don't want to go. So I'm surprised that's even in there.
There's going to be bootleg cocaine shirts.
Oh, definitely.
Within moments. And then the same with Blast, too. That is also another slang for drugs.
So there's Blast, there's Caribou, which, are there really caribou in Utah?
There are, but not enough that they should be naming a hockey team after it.
Right. Glaciers, Frost, Mammoth, Canyons, Freeze, Yeti, Hive, Ice, Fury, Blizzard, Swarm, Venom, HC, which, please God, don't do another Washington football team sort of name. And then the Outlaws. My name, I'm putting this vote in right now. We can vote up to 4. Is the Yeti.
Okay.
The Yeti would be the most fun to me, and the mascot options, along with the logo options, I think you could have a field day with the Utah Yeti.
I agree. I think I'll put vote for Freeze.
That's a good one. I like that.
Because I think you could have a lot of fun with that too.
I agree. Freeze can get you a good bit.
Mountaineers
I don't really like because I just think of West Virginia.
Exactly. That's the problem is there's already, and I know it's not a pro team, but like there is a sports team that is so associated with that name,
Right.
like to a level that's just like kind of nuts. I don't hate black diamonds. My
I don't either.
problem, my problem is I don't like colors in names. And I know black is a shade, but it's like you just had Golden Knights
True.
to Vegas. So you're like, so I would go more in the vein of what Seattle did. Like Kraken is like that is so perfect
Kraken
for
is
that
cool.
city. And the logo they came up with looks fire.
I agree.
I think
I'm just thinking if they go with powder, what logo would you go? Would it just be like a snowflake? Like
but here's the problem with powder. It's like you have the Colorado Avalanche.
that's true too.
Like you can't do something that's too similar to a team that already exists and they're your fucking neighbor. Like
Right.
they're right there. And like what are you going to do? Have your logo wrapped in snow the same fucking way they do? Like no.
Yeah.
Like if they do freeze, if they do frost, if they do ice, like it has to be like obvious ice.
Exactly.
Like real good looking logo
I like
with like
the Venom.
Venom. I don't mind because it's kind of out of left field. If we want to
Right.
vote for that,
And Outlaws, I'm like, again, I don't put Outlaws with Utah.
there would have been, but not. Yeah, I would think of like Arizona, New Mexico, Texas,
Exactly.
like the original kind of like Old West how they got over there. But
the thing I thought was the funniest was there's a lot of comments when this was posted on social media, and everyone was like, we wanted to vote for Storm and Mormon.
yes, sir.
That would have been hilarious.
I would do Venom and Swarm, to be honest.
Swarm I like too.
Because like Hive, no. Utah Ice is just not like fun to say. Utah
Right.
Fury, no thank you. Blizzard, nah.
Blizzard
Canyons,
again is too close to Avalanche.
exactly.
And like Squall, again, too close to Avalanche and
A snow squall is literally a baby avalanche. Like that's
and a baby
you're
blizzard.
yeah. So you're literally gonna like call yourself a baby version of no, not it.
Exactly. And Utah doesn't have glaciers.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm like, okay, Utah glaciers, Utah like mammoths are cool, but
Right.
I would rather see mammoth like mammoth should be reserved for a state that starts with M, or like a
Right.
team that starts with M. You know what I mean?
Like the Montana Mammoth.
Like literally, like I would be so chill with that.
Yeah.
But the Utah Mammoth, like nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And Canyons, whoever threw Canyons on there needs to just that dude probably got fired already.
Probably. Black
Oh,
Diamonds out of the rest of these are like the cooler one that I could think of, especially because
it's the best sounding one.
Yeah. And it gives you a lot. Like obviously there's like the Black Diamond like ski mountain, ski trail, whatever. But then there's also like you could use that play on like the actual logo itself and like actually have a diamond and stuff like that. But there's a lot of things you could go with like in terms of logos and stuff. But I think the four we have are easily the top. And for those listening on Spotify, we actually have the ability to put a poll in there. So we'll put our four options. Select which one you think is the nicest sounding. I think we can also do it on YouTube, so we'll put that on there too. So let us know what you guys think. But does it let me submit? Is there a submit button?
Oh yeah.
Well,
classic. We can't have you voting if you don't give us your information, so we can hound your email address with updates. Yes,
exactly. I'll put the podcast email address. Done. All right. So
it is Rashee Rice time.
Yes, it is.
Can I go in?
You can definitely go in.
Because I have this open. I read this article last night, and I'm just like, we all know who Henry Ruggs is. Okay, we're all very well aware of who Mr. Henry Ruggs is, and how his promising beginning to his career was immediately derailed by really stupid decisions, not mistakes. These are decisions made by an adult human being who should fucking know better. who should actually give a shit about his family and their future because of the amount of money he has the potential to make because he made it to not only the NFL, the past like 8 years best team in the NFL, and gained the number one receiver spot on said team. You got that. You got there. You made it. And it takes an adult and a mature person to actually stay there. And what we have here is not that. So, first off, you lease a car, you lease a Lambo, you decide to drive that down a highway during the day, hit some cars, and just fuck off and leave with whoever the hell else was in the Corvette. So that's first problem, because that's just negligent. That's intent. That is intent to injure. Sorry. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? You're not a professional driver, right, and you're in a vehicle that you don't know how to drive whatsoever. So that's the first thing, and that's still playing out, and he's going to get punished for that as one thing. And then this is just going to compound onto that and make everything worse. I mean, career suicide is not something that is like far off here. That like genuinely. So this incident, he hired a photographer, or he was a photographer. Yeah. So got in touch with a photographer to come to this club, take pictures, whatever. So guy shows up at like 1:30. Or he was there at like 1:30, 2 a.m. he leaves, then Rice sends him a DM on Instagram to come back and do whatever. And guy gets back, and it says, when the victim found Rice at the nightclub, he told police that Rice punched him on the left side of his face while he was looking at Instagram messages on Rice's smartphone. While the rest of the report is redacted, the victim appeared to have a minor injury, swelling in his left jaw, which I don't care what the injury is. One of the major policies in the NFL is that if you act in such a way that you intended to injure another person, I don't know what punching a dude in the face is if not that. Like, so you're already dealing with potential court issues stemming from the vehicular incident, and then you add this to it, and you also like look back, and this is where the article just blew my mind, because I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. In college there were some shenanigans too, so let's get into that.
Oh god, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, you ready for this? Because this is a real good one. According to league sources, multiple teams had removed Rice from their draft boards after learning of an alleged incident he was involved in while a student at SMU. During the alleged incident, multiple bullets were fired into an empty car belonging to former SMU basketball player Kendrick Davis during one of the school's home games. So this isn't like at night when no one's fucking around. It's quite literally in the parking lot and there's a fucking game going on. So like, there's people there. Like, oh, God. Potentially everywhere, sunshine. So, and here's where it gets crazy, though. It's like two teams gathered information that led them to conclude Rice believed Davis was involved with his girlfriend. Who fucking cares? The incident was never reported to SMU authorities. They shot a car, and that did not get reported to SMU's. Are we SMU? Are we good?
You like, know, as a university, you report like the big name people.
But it's just like this was investigated by people. Like, it's who needs it reported? It happened. So I'm like, what? Like, I read that, I'm like, this guy's how old? And this shit, like, he's already, like, first off, he was that young in college and just decided to shoot a car. And how the fuck do we know that he was, like, sure that shit was empty?
Right.
Like, for all we know, his intent could have been to just, like, shoot the car, assuming he was in it.
Right. Like, so we have no, like, context or information of what the reasoning was at all. So that just leaves it up to everybody to make their own story.
And the biggest problem is, too, it's like, I'm just staring at the Chiefs. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Because this is not the kind of behavior that is going to help the NFL improve. Like especially the Chiefs. Like, you're on this wave of T Swift is with Travis Kelce now, and the amount of just income that is bringing your franchise
and spotlight.
Yeah, like all eyes are on you because of this, which is like annoying, but I get it.
Right.
So all the eyes are on you, and now this shit's going down. Like, you can't. There's no room for sitting back and just kind of letting this shit fly. Not a chance. Not a chance. And I mean, he minimum 1 year suspension. And I think that's way too lenient. Like, at this point, because, and I know he's young, and it's like, oh, well, you're just gonna push him back. It's like, he fucked around and found out, and he's gonna find out. Like, Martavis Bryant made a fuck ton of mistakes, and there's a reason he was out of the league for forever. Josh Gordon
did it with much less like harm to other people.
Yeah, it was just weed.
Yeah.
Like, which that should never have been a thing that would have suspended him.
Right.
To be honest, especially looking back now. Justin Blackman was another receiver from that year as well for the Jags, who had like great first 2 years, looked really good, and then it was just like, goodbye, because you want to enjoy marijuana, which really doesn't negatively affect anybody else, but we have this policy that is what it is. Like, but that's the thing. It's like, those were the rules then. You had to follow them. So it's like, you still made the choices to do these things that derailed your career. And obviously Josh Gordon was able to come back and play some more and get some more money. So it's like, all right, good for him, because I think he had a better mindset, a better mentality.
Right.
And was more apologetic and like knew he fucked up. But like, I just look at this. It's like, he apologized for the car thing, and then you do this shit. It's like, I don't believe your sorries anymore.
Yeah. The moment you compound your issue with something else after trying to apologize and do all that, it throws all of that out the window.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here going, I mean, that's that, I guess. And I can use this right now to transition into like best team fits and rookie of the year shit if you want. Because at this point, it's just going to be a wait and see. Because like, we have to see what the court says. We have to see what the NFL says. And obviously once we have that, it will be on this podcast. Trust me.
Right.
Because this dude is just giving us content, and it's not the content we want. We want good stuff where players are doing well, not this. But
yeah, the final thing I'll say is I saw a report that people are thinking it'll be a 6-game suspension just for the car crash incident. So if it's already going to be 6 games for that, and again, this is just a report, this isn't confirmed or anything, but if it's already 6 games for that, throwing this on top of it, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a full season. So there's going to be a lot of things coming out of that. But yeah, we can move on to we'll do rookie of the year predictions first, because that honestly, it probably won't be very long.
No,
with the type of rookies that came in. So
I did 4 offensive, 4 defensive.
Okay, I did 2 and 2
guesses. Okay, do yours first.
All right, so number 1 for offensive rookie of the year, obviously Caleb Williams.
Yep,
I think he's easily going to be the betting favorite.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he is, and it's by like a mile. Which the only other one, I think most of the QBs are pretty high. That are going to get starter roles like JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix, but
right. And
let me actually look while you do that.
My number 2, I mean, like, my offensive ones are pretty chalk, but my number 2 is Marvin Harrison Jr. Those are the 2 guys.
I picked him too. Those are the 1 and 2. Those are the 1 and 2 in betting odds. So
okay, yeah. Especially Malik Neighbors would have been higher for me if he didn't go to the Giants.
Well, this says he's 5th. Mm-hmm. I refused to pick him.
Yeah,
because it's Daniel Jones. He's not going to have the numbers to even be close because of Daniel Jones.
If he went to the Chargers, I would have put him at 2nd, to be honest.
So I had your 2, and then I decided to just kind of go left field
Mhm.
and ignore Jaden Daniels and JJ McCarthy because it's boring. Um, I picked Keon Coleman for the Bills
Okay.
because it's going to be him and Curtis Samuel as the duo now.
He
Which
should win most entertaining, that's for sure.
he's fucking. I'm doing a video on him that's
I
coming
love
up.
that
So
guy.
yeah, I don't want a Bills jersey, but I want his. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and then I took I picked Brian Thomas Jr., the LSU receiver to the Jags, because
Okay.
Zay Jones just signed somewhere else. They
Yep.
lost Calvin Ridley, so like he steps in immediately as this like obvious guy that's going to get a lot of targets every game.
True.
Um, so if the chemistry can develop between him and Trevor Lawrence, like that could be a very underrated, like a duo that's not getting looked at enough right now.
Right.
Because obviously, like McCarthy comes in and he gets given Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson and T.J. Hawkinson. You're like, yeah, you're gonna probably have a good year. He
Zay
still
Jones went to
sucks.
the Cardinals, by the way.
Yeah, which I like. I like the fit
Yeah,
because
for
they
sure.
should just bring in guys and try and make that room better.
Right.
And he's a bigger guy, so. But yeah, that's offensive. Like I had Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. like because they're just the obvious choices. It's like the Cardinals offense has been missing
Mhm.
a Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Like Larry Fitz retired, and as soon as that happened, anything for that team, any hope they had of winning consistently was just gone.
Their best pass catcher was definitely, what's his name? The tight end. I liked him way more than
Oh,
Hollywood Brown.
Trey McBride.
Yeah, McBride.
Yeah,
He was better than Hollywood Brown. He was better than any other
yeah,
wideout they had.
easily. Um,
So,
but it's good that they have him because now it's like you
yeah,
add around him, and you really are test. This is your moment to go. Kyler the dude?
right.
And I think Kyler has potential.
I mean, we've seen him be pretty fucking
He
outstanding.
his ability to move in the pocket. He has a good arm. He's short, but his vision doesn't suck. Like he's not horrible. It's just you brought this guy in with no O line and no weapons really. Like you had Nuke Hopkins for like a year, and then you got hurt, and then he left. So and then you bring in Hollywood, and it's like that was never going to be anything. I'm sorry. No, the reason Hollywood was able to get a deal or be moved in any capacity or be sought after is because Lamar Jackson was his fucking QB.
There's a
And I
reason the Ravens let him go,
Yeah, and it was an
and
easy
he was
decision
their
for
number
them.
one receiver.
Yeah, and it was easy for them. Like it was
Yeah,
no hesitation. They let
exactly,
that shit rip. So,
exactly.
all right.
For defense, my two, I have Jared Verse. I like his fit a lot with the Rams. I'll talk about him a little bit later because I also think he's one of the best player fits.
Yeah.
Um, the Rams already drafted a couple defensive players last year. It was like Byron Young and Kobe Turner. But they'll be like probably the leaders of the defense with Aaron Donald gone, obviously. And so
Yeah.
that kind of to me lets Jared Verse kind of like do his thing instead of being like, oh God, watch out. He's the number one guy. Everyone triple team him. So like they have other guys around him that I think will at least allow him to do a little bit more without having to like worry.
Well, and
Um,
it's nice for him in the depth chart.
right,
Well,
right,
two of them because like both the guys they drafted actually from Florida State. So
right.
you have instant chemistry on your D line. Because did you see that clip? If you haven't, look it up. It's actually really wholesome. So Verse showed up because he was
Mhm.
obviously the day one draft pick. Um, got to the facility, the Rams facility,
Mhm.
and they had him get on the phone to tell Braden Fisk he was getting drafted by the Rams.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was like, yeah, they were both going nuts. It was awesome. But both of them being starters, same college program, they have chemistry with each other. Like, it, I agree with you. He has a lot of potential.
Yeah. And my other one was Byron Murphy. I
Okay.
think his fit as well going to the Seahawks. They needed more D line. I mean, he's already joining a defense with guys like Leonard Williams and Jaron Reed and Nwosu. So like there's going to be guys around him that, can still play, but he's going to be the like really middle run stuffer, pass rusher. So I think like he definitely has a good shot at being defensive rookie of the year.
So we didn't have any matching on this one, which is good.
Cool. Okay.
So my first one, I said Laiatu Latu, Colts. It's the first defensive player taken off the board. I think he's just he's just a freak.
Yeah.
Like, and he's super developed. That's the main thing. It's like he's coming in with so much experience in college. His moves are developed. The D line, the Colts needed help, and it got help. Like they signed guys. Let me just like refresh myself. Type IND in here. So it's like you have DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Those are big boys. They're both Pro Bowl caliber, at least to attempt to get there. And like Latu was the thing they needed a dual like edge rush because Samson Ebukam is actually a beast. So it's like you have that now, and you have some depth too, so you could do a rotation. But I think Latu could honestly get like I would say like 13-ish sacks is actually a really high like good potential for him.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence gets sacked a lot, so he'll definitely get some in those games. The Titans, he'll probably get a couple in those games. And I don't know what their full schedule is, but just going off that. And then I'll roll right into another edge guy, Dallas Turner for the Vikings.
Yeah, I was going back and forth about Dallas Turner a lot.
Because it's like Danielle Hunter leaves, same exact position, and he just jumps right in. And it's like, we saw how good Danielle Hunter was, so I can't imagine. I honestly cannot imagine Dallas Turner struggling. And he is actually the betting favorite right now. Dallas Turner is.
Okay.
It goes Turner, Latu, Verse, and then one of my other picks, because I had to throw one Eagle in there because Quinyon Mitchell. He's going to start opposite Darius Slay. And they've also told Cooper DeJean he will be playing nickel like CB, which love that too, because that is such a flex position anyway, but it allows him to actually play to his strengths. But Quinyon, I look at him and then like, did you see the video of him squatting at?
Oh yeah.
Like, what the fuck? He's not big. How is he doing that?
The Eagles shouldn't be allowed to have this many people that can squat something crazy in Hurts, Saquon, and him. Should not be allowed.
No, like literally, Hurts and Saquon are going to literally share a backfield together, and they can combine squat like 1,270 pounds.
Yeah, that's insane.
What? So, yeah, they could like leg press the back of a car up and down, basically, is what they're doing, which is just a joke. My one curveball, because I just think this is a team fit one based on what I've read already. Peyton Wilson.
Okay.
Because they're doing this like off-season program, and they've had him with the mic calling the defense. And even Tomlin was like, he looks really good doing it. And I'm like, oh boy, please don't tell me this.
Fell to them.
Well, it's like he doesn't have ligaments. So,
well, true.
And he's had like shoulder injuries and shit. So they're just like, there's so much fear of that, because it's like, it wasn't like he had one ACL tear. He had like 4, to the point where they were like, we're just going to take them out of your knees at this point.
Let's just give you robotic knees.
Like, and then the shoulder injuries too. It's like, you're going to be hitting people, usually leading with those. So like, there's fear in that. There's fear in that too, but it's going to be another moment with the Steelers just get away with some shit to become good again. And they have 6 fucking championships. They don't need any more, damn it.
The AFC North is going to be honestly insane.
No, it's truly nuts.
I saw a strength of schedule based on last year's win percentage, and the AFC North has the top 3 toughest schedules based on last year win percentage. And that's the Steelers, Ravens, and Browns. Those three have the toughest schedule, and then the Bengals are down at like 9th, so they're still pretty high up there, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Because it's like the Browns have a top 5 defense. The Steelers are building what looks like it is going to be, at least statistically, a top 5 defense. The Ravens, like, even if the stats don't jump off all the time, you just watch the games and you're like, this is probably a top 5 defense. And they add Nate Wiggins, who is fast as fuck.
Yeah, he is.
Like, I watched the video yesterday. It was like literally just called Speed Kills in the NFL, or like in college. Nate Wiggins was 15 yards behind a running back running downfield. And that was at like the 45? And he knocked the ball out before the guy crossed the goal line.
Dude, that's insane. I'm excited to watch him play.
Yeah, that's like dumb speed.
But I don't have too much time. But we can just like touch real quick. We can probably give like 3 best fits like super quick, and then we can expand on those next week in our next episode.
I have my list saved, so we can just literally go right into the next.
Cool. I'll throw my 3 out there real quick. Brian Thomas Jr. Definitely easily slotting in as a great fit, especially because Gabe Davis, just saw a report, he's still dealing with a knee injury. Christian Kirk had a bit of injuries last year too. He missed a good bit of games. Calvin Ridley's not there anymore. So Brian Thomas Jr. has the chance to just slot in right away as like even the wide receiver 2 at the worst. So I have him. I also have Edgerrin Cooper, the linebacker from Texas A&M. Really?
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought
he
was a great fit. Got him in like middle of round 2, which is very nice value there. Speed and pursuitability type of guy. Really fits into like a blitz heavy defense, which I've read is the new coordinator Jeff Haley's like that's his thing is blitz heavy defenses. So big time fit there. Plus you still have like Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt still there, Rashawn Gary. Like you have guys there that are going to like improve his his weaknesses.
Yep.
And then the other one I just have to throw in is Joe Alt. Like the Chargers have needed offensive line for quite a while. Jim Harbaugh, we know, is trying to build a run first but like tough ass offense because you that's the only thing you're doing if you're bringing in Greg Roman. And on top of that, bringing in a whole bunch of different running backs, whole bunch of different linemen. You draft Joe Alt as your number 5 pick when everybody thought it was going to be Malik Neighbors.
Yep.
So, Joe Alt, I think he's going to be a beast. And having him blocking for a quarterback like
Herbert,
that's just insane.
But that's why it works. Like, if they can be run first and still get really like the production that we know Justin Herbert is capable of. I mean, like, but they had to start somewhere, and I think this is the right. You win in the trenches.
Yeah,
like you got to start there. So
I'm sure your list is longer, but give me the top 3 you got.
It's I made it kind of long.
We'll go into the rest next episode.
So I'll start with the layup because of the Rashee Rice situation. I'll say Xavier Worthy is a perfect fit because they're gonna fucking need his ass.
He was on the list too.
I think I mean the fit's good. I mean he played. This is the first Chiefs receiver that they've taken where I really looked and was like, yeah, that's a big school. Yeah. Like they actually went there and were like, no, let's get a guy that seems pretty certified, officially good. And he is. So, I mean they've missed the speed since Tyreek left. They got the speed back. So. If his hands work, AFC West is going to remain in trouble. I don't even think we need to overanalyze that. Patty Mahomes and Xavier Worthy is going to be something I think we hear a lot. So, and then I'll say Junior Colson, the linebacker from Michigan, because he went to the Chargers. So it's just like, hey, coach, haven't seen you in like 2 months. How you doing? I think it just works, and he back up. Like their defense has a lot of really good talent. So, I mean, like, let's just, I mean, linebacker wise, I want to see, yeah, so he's going to back up Denzel Perriman,
Hmm.
which even if he has to do, I mean, they'll rotate him, obviously, he'll be in certain packages, but like, you got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, brother. I mean, literally, you're building on the outside. Like Derwin James is a top safety, Asante Samuel Jr. is a top corner. They they signed like so many people this year. It's great, and then the amount of rookies. But I like his fit. I think he'll develop there better than he would have anywhere else, which is why I think I had to add him.
I
Um,
like that.
and then one I really liked typing on this page, Spencer Rattler
Okay.
to the Saints, because we already know they like the fan base does not like Derek Carr. We get that.
True.
I like it's because it's not even a risk. There's no risk to taking Spencer Rattler when they took him at all.
Right.
And I think you've seen glimpses of him being able to succeed. And then he went to South Carolina where he got sacked more than like any QB ever in college ever. Like ever. Like the dude got hit like 15 times a game, which is just like nuts. And then I look at the Saints. I'm like, who'd you take in the first round? A tackle. So if he gets a chance to actually get in there and play, he will actually be able to like read his receiver, like set up his receivers, read everybody. He'll have time to actually stand there for a second, breathe, and make good throws because he has a really strong arm,
Right.
and his accuracy is not bad. Like it's they have a solid receiving core. Like Carr's days are not like honestly he could be benched this year. Like that's where we're
Oh,
at
for
now.
sure.
So Rattler has this chance to actually step into something, a really good situation too, because Saints fans love an underdog.
Oh, yeah.
Like love. They're one of the fan bases that just embrace the shit out of that. And
That's their shit.
yeah, literally. Like so him coming there, that's why I can't see anything better. Because he goes into a position where it's actually pretty clear he's probably going to play really soon,
Right.
but they're not going to rush him because he's not a first rounder or second rounder where it's expected right away. He can actually like develop a little bit, learn some shit, gain chemistry with the receivers every practice, like all that, all the important things. Like it's the same kind of like he will not be on a bench as long as Jordan Love was behind Rodgers,
Hmm.
but it's the kind of pick that makes sense because I could see him being successful. So I'll do those three.
Cool.
And just because you said Edgerrin Cooper, I've had this list written down of my next like videos of the early round guys,
Hmm.
and the bottom one there
Oh, yeah. There he is.
because I'm like he was the first linebacker taken, so I
Yeah.
have to do it because there's a reason, and I gotta what I mean we gotta express that.
I liked
And
some of the tape that I've watched of him. I didn't go like too deep dive on him, but I liked the little bit that I've seen so far.
and do you like the new format, the way I'm doing the videos with the PFF
Yeah,
thing? Because I think
it
it's
is.
way better.
It is good. Everyone who hasn't, definitely go check out. We have a whole playlist on the channel for the 2024 NFL Draft analysis that Tom's putting together. So we have a whole conglomerate of different players so far. Most of them being not the big name guys, because
Yeah.
obviously you can go anywhere you want and find anything on the big name guys. So we're trying to kind of shed some light on the newer guys.
I was
But
doing deep dives because like when you watch the draft coverage night one, you're gonna get 5 minutes of highlights for each player.
yeah,
Day three, you're not even gonna get highlights. You might get one
exactly.
because the picks are flying in. So it's more fun too because I'm learning a lot more about the draft class
Right.
as well.
Yeah,
So
for sure. But that's it for us this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening and tuning in on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, please drop a like and subscribe if you liked what you were watching. Hit the bell for notifications that let you know when we go live with our newest episodes. lately it's been on Saturdays. So if you want to come on
Yeah.
Saturdays, just let us know. Also, we're everywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, all that good stuff. We are everywhere you get those. Please rate, review, and subscribe on those as well. It helps us get our name out there everywhere. And yeah, check out Tom's NFL draft review series. We got that going on as well. We'll definitely have series going on probably throughout every sports season. So we'll have some
Yeah.
new stuff coming to the
Yeah.
channel. So thank you, everybody, and we will catch you guys next week. Peace.